Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams Knitting Podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share all my knitting and making shenanigans with you. And right off the bat, there is a cat trying to get under the quilt on which I am sitting because he's trying to claim his seat. But he does not realize that I'm the biggest cat in this house, so I get to do whatever I get to do. So, all right. Welcome. I feel like I've derailed myself already from the beginning, but I'm here to talk all about my knitting with you today. I do have some sewing, but I might not get into it too much. I've been sewing quite a bit. But the biggest update is my visit and trip to Knit City, Toronto. And I have a lot of acquisitions. So I have one finished object and a few WIPs that I have been actively working on. And yeah, hope you have a beverage of choice and some crafting to keep you company while I talk through all the things that I have for you today. All right, let's just jump right in. Or maybe just a little bit of preface. So last week I was at Knit City, Toronto with Selma and Mel, and I have been traveling quite a bit. Before that, I was in Columbus for a week, for 4 days. Then my employer has a headquarters. The headquarters are in Mississauga, which is like Greater Toronto area. And so when I booked my Knit City tickets like a few months ago, we planned the trip and everything, because we didn't book tickets, by the way, and I will get to that. So when we planned the trip a few months ago, I let my manager know that I will be in the Toronto area for a personal trip. And so she said that this would be a good opportunity for me to extend my trip and actually get to work from the headquarters. And I typically go to Canada like twice a year anyway. So this became like one extended trip where I was working. And then I went to downtown to meet up with Mel and Selma when we had decided. So I've been traveling a lot, and I'm giving all this explanation because it has impacted on what I was knitting on and how much work I've gotten done on some of those things. But anyway, so I had planned to finish my self-drafted raglan tee for Knit City, and this was still a WIP when I started my travels because I was in Columbus, like I said, the week before, and then I was supposed to be in Toronto for a whole week, so I wasn't home for the last couple weeks pretty much. But I took my linen self-drafted tee, which was a WIP I shared I think last time, and now that's my finished object. It is all wrinkly because I have worn it and I have folded it and all of that. So this is my self-drafted linen tee. Like I said, I did some yarn over increases for the raglan. This is knit in Quince & Co. Kestrel. I really enjoyed knitting with the yarn. It was definitely a bit hard on my hands, and which usually typically in linen always is, but I thoroughly enjoy the finished object, so I was definitely looking forward to having the tee more than, but actually I kind of like knitting with linen. It has a whole other feel to it, but I can't do a lot of it. Let me put it like that. I ended up doing an I-cord edging for the tee everywhere. So I did like a 3-stitch I-cord on the neck and the sleeve cuffs, and for the body I actually did a 4-stitch I-cord just to have it be a little bigger. It still rolls in, but in all honesty I have not blocked this yet. I have worn it thrice already without blocking it. Why am I waiting to block it? Mainly because I think the neck is a bit too wide. What I want to do is actually rip out the I-cord and pick up fewer stitches. I picked up pretty much all stitches. Maybe I skipped a couple, but this time around I'll go and pick up like 4 out of 5 stitches, so I get like 90% of the stitches picked up around the neck, and I think that'll make it a little snugger, that sits well on my shoulders. This does sit well. It's pretty boat necky, but I feel like just a slightly tighter neck would give me the perfect fit for this tee. So yeah, so this is my self-drafted linen again, and then linen tee, and I have all the notes on Ravelry, but if I don't have something that you need to know about it, I can let you know. Send me a message or ask me in the comments below, and I will respond to any questions about this. I've gotten into this habit of making raglan tees for myself just because I really like the fit of a raglan. I can modify it to my gauge. I usually figure out my gauge and then figure out how it needs to be. It has been working for me so far. And I have more planned. It just becomes a very easy to wear basic tee that I can throw on for work, especially because I can wear it to work. And for my work, I dress up pretty business casual most days, and then business if we have clients coming. So I like making knits that are simple and elegant in a way, that I can wear to work with the right bottoms and they look pretty professional. So I have been enjoying making my raglan tees because of that. This colorway is terrapin. Also, I didn't make it too long. This is somewhat of it's not cropped, but it's on the shorter side. I usually make my sweaters 13 inches long from my underarm, and for really cropped stuff I need to make them 10 inches from the underarm. That'll hit me at my natural waist. This I think is about 11, so it's a little longer than a crop top for me. But I had sewn a pair of Winslow culottes like a few weeks ago, and the whole purpose was to pair the culottes with this tee and wear that to Knit City, and I actually did that, and I was very, very comfortable. I will put a picture of me in that outfit here. I also did post it on Instagram, so some of you may already have seen that. Yeah, so that is my one finished object, and also like a me-made wardrobe because we're doing me-made May. I haven't been posting every day, but I am posting every chance I get. I'm actually also wearing a shirt dress that I made myself. This is the Kalle shirt dress. This is by Closet Core Patterns, I believe. I made this in 100% linen. I love the collar. I love the serious collar on this one, but I didn't put a button here. This has a faux placket. My center button is a little misaligned, but I honestly don't care. So I was making the tunic length in this, and I made the tunic length, but just because of the way I'm shaped, I have wider hips. It wasn't falling right in the back. So what I ended up doing is, we have a lot of Indian tunics that we wear, kurtas, which have split hems, and that allows for like wider hips. This split hem makes it sit better. So what I ended up doing is just unpicking the side seam and then doing a split hem on this, and I can wear it with leggings, and it looks really cute, and I'm happy about that. I want to make the Kalle shirt again, but I won't make another tunic just because I don't think it sits right on me. I need more shaping, and the fit and flare fits me better because of just I'm two sizes. I'm like it's relatively smaller on top and a bigger size at the bottom, and shift or straight dresses don't really work for me. They're not flattering. They might work a little, but like if I make them to the size of my hips, the top will be too broad, so or too big. So I prefer grading between two sizes, which I did grade on this, but it still didn't sit right. So anyway, all that to say, I want to make it again, but I'll make the shirt version only. And I really love the collar, but I used this 100% linen, which with the interfacing turned out to be a very thick collar, which helps it stay up. But I honestly had to bring out my walking foot to, you know, actually do some of the stitching. So anyway, I have put a picture of the Kalle shirt dress as well, so you know what I'm wearing. I'm thoroughly embracing Me Made May, and I'm having a lot of fun planning wardrobes and coordinating my knits with my sewn garments, and it's been fun. Okay, so I did the finished object, and now let's move on to the WIPS. Which one do I start with? There are so many things to talk about. All right, I will start with the one that I cast on right after I finished the tee. So I had finished the linen tee while I was in Toronto in the hotel room, and this was the Monday before Knit City. And then immediately after, I started a new project, and I had taken the yarn for it and I cast on, like I swatched kind of in the hotel room. I didn't block my swatch, but I kind of measured what my gauge was going to be, because this is a forgiving pattern as well, so it was going to be okay if it is a little bigger. So I cast on the Cumulus Blouse by Petite Knit. So this is how much I have done on this. I am thoroughly in love with this Cumulus Blouse. Like, it is beautiful. I really enjoy this blood orange color, and I thought this would be a nice color for me. And I've had the Cumulus Blouse pattern in my library for a really long time, so it was so nice to actually cast on something from my library. I did buy yarn for this, so not a complete stash cast on. I think it was Selma who was talking about pairing tin lina with mohair, and I think if you watched her latest episode, which I did just this morning, she talks about pairing that for a ranunculus for herself. And for some reason, that yarn combination of linen and mohair, I've been trying to find something to make with that, and it just suddenly struck, like everything struck in my, I knew exactly the color, I liked the yarn combination, and then I was like, this is the pattern I will cast on with it. So everything just like fell into place in my head, and I had to just execute it, right? So this is my yarn. So this is the tin lina in the color spicy orange, I want to say, and this is Knitting for Olive mohair in blood orange, and I'm so pleased with what they are doing together. So I cast on the Cumulus T. I have changed gauge. I think the Cumulus T is knit on an 18 stitch gauge in 4 inches, and I am getting close to 20 stitches in 4 inches. I cast on the 53.5 inch size, so because of my tighter gauge, I did my math, and I think I'm gonna get around a 50-inch finished garment. My bust measurement is 46 inches, so I will have some ease, and I prefer that especially I'm going to wear a camisole under the top. So if I want like a looser looking, if I want like a look that is a little bit more casual, I can wear it without a camisole and it will have more ease. But if I wear it with the camisole, I think it'll look like a proper sweater. So I'm hoping I can wear this shoulder seasons and in the winter, depending on what I wear underneath it. It is definitely somewhat of an open weave, but I think the mohair is doing a good job. Like you can see some light through it, so it's definitely open weave, but I'm really liking the drape and how light it is, even though the tin lina is a linen viscose, and so it can lend to being a bit heavy, but I think at this gauge with the mohair, it's actually quite fluffy, and it's so small, like I can like ball it up so easily, and like I'm really enjoying that drape basically. And I cannot let this go. Like, I have other things to work on because I signed up for test knits, of course, but for whatever reason, this yarn combination just on the needles that I've picked, it's just working so well for me that I just always want to knit on this. So I've been knitting on it quite a lot, and actually I was knitting on it throughout our trip in Toronto, and I got through quite a bit, and as you can see, I'm like about 6 or 7 inches from the underarm. I will make this longish, so 12 and a half inches, and I want to do the I-cord bind off for this as well, so it'll be a elegant tee, and I will do 3/4 length sleeves, I think. So yeah, so that is my Cumulus blouse. I'm so pleased with how it's looking, and I'm very excited about the color and everything. All right, let me find its project bag. I think I changed the video like setting. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I keep making these changes on the go while I'm recording. Anyway, my next finished object is a test knit I've started. There isn't a lot to show on this yet. I've just about done the back, but I think I have to rip back because the back looks too small for me. But I'm making, it's a t-shirt by Elizabeth Margaret, who is part of the One Wild Designs brand, and Bess has designed this cute little t-shirt called the Sappho's Love tee, and she actually knitted full sleeves with like a wool base, but I have decided to make it a summer tee, and I'm knitting it in this Cardigan cotton cashmere yarn in this beige color. And I've done, and it's so soft, and I love the drape on this as well. I did the back, but I think I have to rip back because this armhole length is not enough for me and looks a little small. So I'm going to actually rip back up to the straight part, where not where I'm doing the increases, but rip to the straight part and then lengthen it and then do the increases. I think I need another inch on this. So this is a test knit I've started. It's due in July, so I have some time, and once I get going on it, I think I will be able to finish it pretty quickly, especially because I'm doing short sleeves on it. It's due in July, mid-July, so I still have some time, but that is one of the things I started. As soon as I came home from Knit City, I started working on this, and I really like how soft and how drapey the fabric is. It's a 22 stitch gauge. I'm using US 2.5, what is 2.5? So 3mm needles, so pretty small needles. It's a sport weightish yarn, so I'm able to get gauge on that. I'm really looking for, it's a basic tee again. I like the simple tees that, as I said, I can wear to work. It does have satin sleeves, so I'm really excited about that. I haven't done a lot of satin sleeves before, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot more satin sleeves lately, and I think I'm quite attracted to them, and I want to see how they fit on me, and yeah. So I will show you more updates on this in the next episode. Right now it's just a tiny little thing. You can almost call it a swatch because I have to rip back anyway. And then, oops, I have another test knit that I signed up for. I have done a fair bit of test knits for Orlane Sucche, who is Tet Bash on Instagram, and I make a lot of her garments. Just for some reason they speak to me. Like, I just find them really simple yet have some interest, and they really work for me design wise. So I decided to sign up for this test knit. If you know the Ilha sweater that Orlane has, it's a very popular sweater. So she is releasing a similar design cardigan, and I have the need for more cardigans in my life, so I decided that I will sign up for this test knit. And here is what I've started so far. This is a textured yoke with some cables, and I've just about started, and of course I'm in the middle of a round of, so I'm trying to show you as best as I can. But yeah, that is how much I have done on it, which isn't much, but I'm almost like, I'm like 2 or 3 rows, no, maybe like 7 rows from the end to, and then I'll finish the yoke, and then it'll just be raglan and then stockinette. I'm thoroughly enjoying knitting this. It's beautiful yarn, and this is some yarn, my first, I guess, acquisition update. I bought this yarn at Knit City Toronto. I had seen this vendor last year at Knit City Montreal, and I did end up buying some alpaca linen silk from them for a specific pattern, which I have not cast on. But then I had looked at this BFL Gotland base that they have, and this is the company is called Maya-Par. I cannot pronounce French very well, so forgive me, but this is the lavender color, and it's a BFL Gotland fingering, so 75 BFL, 25 Gotland, and it's 382 yards and 100 grams, so it's a little bit of heavier fingering. I love the halo on it. There's some like black fibers because of the BFL, I believe, and I love the color. So I knew the gauge for the test knit cardigan. I think it's, the name of the cardigan is Noctua. I think recently Orlane renamed it, and so I knew the gauge, and I knew that I was going to buy this yarn because I'd seen this last year and I like fell in love with it and I wanted it so bad. But like for some reason last year I had bought a lot, so I didn't like end up buying any. But then I was like, you know what, this year I'm definitely buying this yarn, and I am loving these cables on this yarn. It's very woolly but still quite soft, but I think it's like, it might have been too scratchy for my front neck where I'm the most sensitive, but as a cardigan I think it'll be perfect, and I really feel like I need more cardigans in my wardrobe, so I jumped at the test knit. We don't have to finish the cardigan because Orlane is releasing it for a festival in June, so she just wants us to like do the yoke and as much as we can get done by then, and then just give her an update or a feedback basically. So which is also why I was like, there is no deadline and I can like get going on this, and I'm enjoying it enough that I'm like not letting it go, so it's fun. But a little bit of strain on my hands for some reason, and that might just be the cables. Once I'm done with the cables and it's just stockinette, I think it'll be much easier to get through it. Yeah, so that is also one of the acquisitions from my trip, and another work in progress. I am carrying this in this Pepin tote, and I don't know if I've talked about this quite a lot, but those of you who've been following me, you know that I have gifted a few of these to my friends, and I actually have a bag for myself. I made it in this beautiful fabric from the company is called Hawthorne Supply. I love their fabrics, and you can buy them by theme, and the inside lining in my bag is cats, of course. I thoroughly enjoy using this bag. It can be used as a handbag, and this has become my festival bag. Whichever festival I go to, I carry this because it's big enough to carry my project and then like all my other stuff, and it has a recessed zipper, so I really enjoy that it has a zipper and it looks very clean. This is by Noodlehead Design, so I sewed this bag. I want to say this one is the one I made for the first Rhinebeck I ever went to, and I actually got a pin and I actually put the pin here. So this was in 2021, so I've had this bag since 2021. I've made 2 for the friends I went to Rhinebeck for the first time with. I've made 1 for a friend, she's not knitting related, but she was my cat's foster mom while I was in Buffalo, and we called her the American mom because I would travel for all the American holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. I would go and travel somewhere because I don't really celebrate the holidays themselves, and the cats, when they were kittens, would go to her house, so she had them for all the American holidays. So we called her their American mom, basically. So I made her one cat bag as well, like it had cat themed fabric. Then I made a bag each for Rebecca and Amy, and I saw them at Rhinebeck last year, and also Casey. I think Casey has shown her bag on the podcast as well. And then she has the clementines. For Amy, it was Luna, like Amy does a lot of astrology and she's been talking about that. So the La Luna fabric had like this beautiful woman with silver hair sitting on the moon, and I was like, that is Amy. So I made that bag for her. And for Rebecca, it was a more woodland themed one. And for Mel and Selma, I made cat themed ones, which Selma mentioned on her video this morning that I watched. I will put a small clip of my of the bags. Hi Oreo, what happened? Do you want to be on the podcast? What do you want? He is again making a lot of noise because I'm sitting in his spot. Go play something. You don't need to sleep all day, do you? Really? Okay, you derailed my thought. I was talking about cats though. I was talking about the bags I made for Mel and Selma. And so I will put a video of the bags, basically, like I took a reel for Instagram, and I'm gonna put that here. So I just wanted to quickly plug in the Pepin tote because it's an amazing pattern if you're into sewing bags, and this is by Noodlehead Designs, and this is my go-to gift bag basically. So apparently if I podcast from this spot, you get to see a lot of Oreo because he's being super territorial. Again, not realizing that I'm the biggest cat in the house. Okay. I think I have one more WIP and then we'll talk all about Knit City, Toronto. Oreo, do you want to learn how to knit? No? Okay, so the other WIP I want to, oh my god, like, do you see this mess? Oh, I have no idea what is going on here. I have like random needles sticking out of this project. So this is actually my Calm Down cardigan. I don't have a lot to say about this. I actually finished one front and I think it's the left front, and I'm now working on the right front pretty much, and that is all I've done on this. This is in John Arbon Knit by Numbers DK. I think the color is 78. I really enjoy working with this, but I've just gotten a little sidetracked by all the test knits and everything. The yarn is very soft, and I really love the color. And yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this. I did actually end up meeting Lily Kate and Anastasia at Knit City Toronto. So I mean, I didn't really have this project with me, but like I would like to finish this cardigan. It's a very beautiful cardigan and very like staple kind of, and I'm thoroughly pleased with my yarn choice on it, but I'm waiting for it to get its time in the, like, you know, on my needles, because right now the Cumulus Blouse is completely monopolizing my time. So I'm gonna knit on this once I finish the Cumulus. There is a lot of cat activity today, and I know a lot of you enjoy that, so I did not plan this. Of course, I can't plan anything with the cats, so they are doing this of their own accord, as expected. Oreo is sitting here trying to get pets from me and purring super loudly. Yeah, so that is the Calm Down cardigan. I don't have a lot to show or to say about this right now, but I'm hoping that I get going on this and make some progress, so I can so I'll have like a couple cardigans ready for the fall when I'm you know, it's nice to knit them through the summer and then be ready for them when cold weather arrives. Okay, this is a very messy project bag, but we've talked about it, and I think we can now start talking about Knit City Toronto. If you've watched Salma's video already, like, you know the gist of what we did, but I'm just gonna repeat in my words, and then the festival itself, let's anyway get going with it. I don't have to make all these explanations. So we met on Thursday. Salma and I went for lunch, and we had found this. So we had a lovely Airbnb right in downtown, about a 7-minute walk from the Knit City venue, and we really liked the Airbnb. It was perfect location, and right next to it was this healthy food restaurant, kind of like coffee shop and restaurant, and we got very nice bowls. Like, I had been traveling, like I had been going, I was in Columbus, and then I was in Toronto for work, or Mississauga for work, and then I went to the festival. By that time my stomach was a little like unhappy with so much food that I was eating, and rich food, so I was so happy to find something that had healthy options and just like bowls and simple dressings or whatever, and it was really good. And so we ended up having lunch there pretty much every day, or breakfast, brunch kind of. So we had lunch there, and then Mel arrived. We checked into the Airbnb, and of course we were catching up, and the first thing we did was exchange gifts. And so Mel gave us these beautiful fat quarter bundle, and Salma has a bundle too. Such pretty fabrics, basically. I'm so pleased with it, and we all kind of gave each other fabric bag kind of gifts, because I think we had all done yarn a bit much already, so we decided it was a very what we called it as a fabric forward weekend. So so we were all in the sewing space, as headspace as well, so these worked out really well, and these are so pretty, and I'm really craving to make a very basic quilt, like no frills at all, no piecing, nothing. I just want to sew like a bunch of fat quarters together, but make it big enough so I can actually use it, this summer. So I'm thinking I might almost do that. Oh, actually I have something else in this. Hold on. So these are the fat quarters that Mel gave us, and then she also gave us this Japanese cotton like a towel. I think it's called tenugui is what is written. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. I got like the lotus root thing. It is so pretty, and I have been thinking of what to like make with this, or should I just let it be this way, because I would hate cutting into it, and I don't know if I can you know, do something about it. I need to come up with ideas. But it's very, very beautiful, block printed, I think, and I really love this fabric. And then Mel gave us a cute little pouch for notions and a mechanical fabric chalk thingy, which I am so pleased about because I have the Taylor's chalks, but the cats like often drop them, and then the moment they fall on the floor, they just like disintegrate or break, obviously. So I feel like this will be so nice to add to my tools for sewing and quilting. So yeah, those were what we got from Mel. And Selma made us these cute project bags, so wonderful and like light and kind of foldable. So this has actually my Cumulus blouse, and you can see my sweater is completely folded in this bag. And this was so nice. Immediately as soon as we got this bag, we just changed our project bag, put it in this, and then it was easy to carry it in our handbags. So we got a lovely project bag from Selma. And she also gave us these kimono printed fabric set. Like it's just squares with beautiful fabrics, and I'm thinking I might just put them all together and make maybe a bag again and just use them to make a cute little project bag, because they're so precious, so beautiful and colorful. There are quite a lot of them, so I think I can easily make a cute little handbag or something with them. Look at that one. Can I show you one last one? So beautiful. So yeah, I'm so excited about all the things that I received. And yeah, so the first thing we did was exchange gifts, and then we went to a fabric store. So we went on a long-ish walk, and I think Selma mentioned it was around Spadina in downtown Toronto, where we found some fabric. We found a fabric store called King's Textiles, and a beautiful store, just wall-to-wall fabric. It was so cool to see everything. I'm gonna put some rolling videos while I'm talking about it. I was not actually planning on buying fabric, but then I ended up seeing this chambray and I absolutely had to get it. So this is kind of a bluish purple, and the other side is like an orange, so it's like a two-sided thing, and I absolutely love this. And the moment I saw this, and Selma said, oh, you can make pants and that, and then Mel was saying, oh yeah, you can try to make the edges or the trimmings in like the opposite color, and I got really excited about that. So I found, and Mel suggested this pattern. Actually, it's called the Skullthorpe pants by Muna and Broad, and it has a panel on the side for pockets, and I was thinking that the side panels could just be the different color, and that would be so cool. So I have like a lot of it. I bought like 4 yards of it, and it's a wide width fabric, so I have a lot. I think I can make separates of some kind, and I'm so pleased with this purchase. Yeah, that is the first thing I ended up buying during the weekend. So then we went for dinner at this lovely Jamaican restaurant that Selma had made reservations for us at, and we had a wonderful time. We were knitting all the way and chatting, and we've been meeting. This is the 3rd time we've met, and we definitely are doing it again. So we're meeting next year, and we always plan what the next thing we'll meet at is going to be. So we have a text group as well, so we talk all the time. So we're, you know, it was fun just catching up in person. And then of course we went back to the Airbnb and then knit some more, had some tea. The next day, we again went for a brunch at IQ, and then we went to the knitting loft. We took a subway to the knitting loft, and oh my god, it is the best yarn store I have been to. It is so beautiful, wall-to-wall colors, and just the way they've displayed the colors It's just insane. You can get like completely lost in that store. It's beautiful. I had to go and ask one of the people working in the store if I could actually pull a skein out, because I was so afraid that I will mess up the display somehow. And they were like, yes, of course you can take the yarn, that is what it's there for. And and I'm like, yes, I just didn't want to mess anything up. It was so beautifully displayed. We spent a lot of time there, and we chatted with Bruna and Maria, and they are so nice. And I really wish that the knitting loft was my LYS, but of course I would be extremely and completely broke if that was the case. But I'm definitely adding that to one of the, if I'm in the area, I need to make a trip to the knitting loft. Like, especially because I know I will go for work to Mississauga at least twice a year. So I'm like, I need to end up there, like maybe a day where I just go there and sit and knit and talk to everyone and look at all the yarn, and it would be like the best day ever, right? So of course I ended up buying yarn there. And I had been feeling a little under the weather. I think with all the travel, I had a cold and I was not feeling too great. And so the moment I saw yarn, of course, I forgot everything. And then I did some retail therapy. So the first thing I ended up picking up at this store was this Dye Gilpin Laaland DK. And I have heard about this quite a few places. Some people have, like Amy made her current cardigan in this, I think. And then even Anastasia talked about this because she made something in this. I think it is the Calm Down cardigan that she made in a gray color in this. And I had been thinking about this since I heard about it, and I absolutely had to get a sweater's quantity. So I bought the color called Lynette. The color number is 125. And I bought enough to make a full pullover for me. I think it's very soft, so I would love to make a pullover that goes up against my neck because I can definitely wear that. And I love this color. I don't have this green actually, and I really like this summery green. But of course, it's a winter garment. It's 100% Scottish lamb's wool, and it is so soft. I love it. So this is the first thing I picked up, and then I have been seeing this lime green color everywhere. I feel like it's one of the colors for the summer. So I decided, because I loved my tin-line mohair combination for the Cumulus Blouse so much, and I was knitting on it and I extremely enjoyed knitting on it. So I decided I'm gonna get the lina. So this is not the tin-line, this is the lina, which is the worsted weight yarn, and mohair to go with it. And I will get a lime greeny cardigan. So I'm planning to make a cardigan with this. They didn't have the full sweaters quantity I needed for the lina, so I ended up actually, by the way, there's a cat behind me. Oh my god, Oreo is being like such a camera hog today. So I ended up getting this liner from actually Mother Knitter, who are in the US. But then they had some of this at the knitting loft. So I was able to like hold it together to compare which mohair I wanted with it. And I did find a mohair that was quite green, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a different look. So I ended up buying this Rowan Kids Silk Haze, and I've never used the Rowan mohair and I've heard good things about it. So I'm so excited about this combination. I have too many WIPs on my needles and unfinished objects, so I can't justify casting on, but I'm very tempted to do a swatch because I don't know what gauge I'll get with this. I'm thinking 20-18 stitches or something like that. And once I swatch with it and figure out the gauge, then I can decide what patterns I can make with it. So, but this happened. After the knitting loft, we spent like 4 hours there. We were very hungry. There was actually a rainstorm or something, like it was raining a lot that day, but we skipped all the rain because we ended up sitting inside the store and having so much fun. So that was good. After that, we went for dinner and then went back to our Airbnb and we're knitting, of course. Saturday. Oh, so now during our ride back to, like the subway ride back to the Airbnb, we suddenly realized that we had planned this entire trip, but we didn't remember buying the tickets to the festival. Oh my God, it was so funny. And we were so kind of shocked by this gap in our planning that we didn't buy tickets to the festival we were planning to attend. We freaked out because we were like, oh, what if we can't get in there? And then we were looking at our emails. None of us had anything. Selma had bought tickets to the Knit City Montreal event, and for some reason we just assumed that Selma would buy tickets for this one. Like, it was so weird. I had done all the bookings and like the Airbnb and everything, and I should have just bought the tickets at the time they released, but we talked about it. I was going back in the chat and looking for the tickets and everything, or what we talked about the tickets, and we had a discussion, but then we got distracted because one of us talked about yarn, and then like it just, the whole conversation derailed and we didn't actually buy tickets to this event. And then when we went on their website on the Friday before, they were like, it's all sold out, but you can get some at the admissions counter in the afternoon on Saturday, and they said limited sales. So we got freaked out if we wouldn't get the limited tickets, but then we also thought, why would they deny us entry because we want to go and spend money? So we had like Selma knows people, so she had contacted a few people to see if they could, you know, help us out or something. But Mel and I were like, let's just get to the counter at 12 and then see if they'll sell us tickets. And Selma found actually in one of her, like, I think it was a credit card statement or something, that she had paid for a ticket for herself. So she had a ticket, but like Mel and I were like, oh no, what if we can't enter we'll just hang out outside in the foyer and not go into the festival. But we were like 90% sure that they would sell us tickets on the spot, because why wouldn't they let people in? I can see them not doing that first thing in the morning when there's a lot of crowd and they're trying to limit how many people are inside the closed like space. But in the afternoon, when the crowd is less, I'm sure they would let us in. So anyway, we had this experience at Knit City Montreal that we had gone first thing in the morning because we had arranged to meet with some people, and it turned out to be really crowded first thing in the morning, like as soon as the doors opened. So we decided that we didn't want to do that and we would go in around noon. So that was the plan anyway. So we had brunch again at IQ, got some coffee, and then slowly made our way to the festival around noon. And of course, they had tickets at the admissions thing. Like, it was no big deal. And they even said that we say limited sales just to make people buy in advance, and not that we're going to deny entry if you buy the tickets. So thankfully, we had tickets by the time we got there, and we were able to, of course, go into the festival. And it was amazing. First thing I will say is thank you so much to everyone who came and said hello and let me know and let Mel know that you watch our videos, and it was so nice to meet and talk to all of you. Of course, Selma gets stopped like she can't make 5 steps without someone coming and talking to her. So she's like always busy talking to people, and Mel and I pretty much like do our own thing because she's talking to people and we don't want to, you know, just awkwardly be in the background. So we just end up slinking away and going and looking at all the yarn, of course. So we entered the first row. We first met Patricia of the Paradise Island bags, said hello to her, and then Selma started talking to some other people who came by and said hello to her or something like that. And Mel and I just went and we started doing our own thing. And then we went around looking at yarn, buying a lot of yarn. Oh my God. And then after like an hour or so, we're like, okay, let's go find Selma, because we've done like a whole trip of all the aisles. And then now how to look for Selma in this entire space. We were like, you know what? She's probably not made it past the first aisle. And we went back to the first aisle, and this was an hour later, mind you. We had bought yarn and everything. And she was, as we expected, she was still there and talking to someone at the end of the aisle, but she was in the first aisle again. So we found her, and then we kept doing this. We would go do our own thing and then come back and try and find Selma and locate her in the festival. But it was so funny. And we had, I bought some yarn, so let's talk about that. So one of the first things I picked up was the Mayapar yarn, which I already showed you. And then we went to the Lichen and Lace booth, and they had kits to the Lunenburg sweater by Amy Christophers. And I had seen this sweater before and I really like it, of course. And then, but just something about looking at the kits, and both Mel and I got really into it. So ended up making our own kit. I didn't buy the one that was already available, but these are the colors for the yoke. And then this is going to be my main color. So I don't know how it'll look, but I think the yoke is abstract enough that everything, as long as it looks good together in a bundle, will look fine in the yoke. So it needs 4 contrast colors and then how many ever skeins you need for the main color. But yeah, this is what I ended up buying. And this is their sport weight base, which I've wanted to try for a really long time. It's the Rustic Heather Sport, 100% Canadian wool, 56 grams and 215 yards. And this colorway is called Shrub. That's my main color. So this is one of the first things or second things I picked up at the festival. And then I want to knit the Party Line scarf by Casey, of course. And I've been thinking about that, and I didn't want to make it in a mohair because I really can't wear mohair around my neck. And so I wanted something really nice and luxurious for it. So I went and bought some Cardiff cashmere for the scarf. So this is the Cardiff Cashmere Classic in the color Hermes. I don't know how to say it. Hermes? I don't know. Anyway, that is the color. It's again blood orange. And I'm thinking if I finish the Party Line scarf at the same time I finish my Cumulus blouse, this can become a thing, right? Like, it is so soft, of course. I got 3 balls of this. So I'm gonna hold it double and knit it on a bigger needle so I can get like a long and loose-ish gauge scarf. But I am so excited about using this yarn. Of course, everyone has seen this everywhere since they became kind of popular, but I've never tried it, so I got super excited and bought some for the Party Line scarf. And then one of the things I purchased, actually, I saw this vendor called Woodlot Canada, and they had a lot of stuff made out of wood. So I bought a set of these square buttons. I hope you can see it. I'm not gonna take it out of the plastic. But I also ended up buying some earrings, and I wore them today, and they are so beautiful and they're so light. I really like big earrings, and I got them at the festival. So that was another thing. And then finally, I wanted to buy some Canadian farm yarn, basically. So we found this sweet vendor who is, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but I think it essentially means Richard's sheep. So Richard was there, and he had a picture of his sheep, and he had this beautiful 50% wool, 50% mohair yarn in this gorgeous, stunning, dark magenta-ish pink. And I bought enough. I bought 4 skeins of this, and I want to make a vest. And I'm really excited about trying this out. So yeah, this was one of the final purchases I made at the festival. I don't think I bought anything else. I was really, actually, I had gone there with the idea of buying some fingering weight summer yarns, like, you know, linen silk mix or something. And I saw quite a few of those there, and there was one by Alley Cat Yarns that I was really impressed by, but I didn't end up buying it finally. I had bought enough yarn already, and I just didn't want to spend more money. But mostly the festival was amazing because I got to meet everyone, and I even met up with my friends Grace and Kareen, who I've been talking to since COVID, pretty much, and they were both there at the festival, so we got to see each other and just hug and, you know, meet each other in person, all of us together. So that was wonderful. And then what else? Yes, so finally we went back to the Airbnb in the evening. We were like super exhausted after the whole thing, and then we laid out all the yarn we had purchased, and it was quite a lot. So we were thinking about next time not actually going or enabling more yarn purchases, but how can we actually use all of this yarn that we've bought, especially in all these trips that we've taken together. So we decided to do like a knit along just amongst ourselves, where we use yarn that we've bought together or knit on patterns that we all want to knit on, and just, you know, made our own little bundles of things that are inspiring us. And I'm going to share that bundle in the link in the description below. And so I'm saying all this because I want to segue into my next thing that I really want to cast on. Mel and Selma ended up buying this wool mohair, again farmy yarn from La Belle Boucle, I think one of the vendors. I didn't buy any from them, but this reminded me of this beautiful yarn I had purchased when we went to the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival. And I think I'm gonna cast on like a half and half wrap or some sort of a blanket with this, and I think that is going to be my next cast on. I brought this out, and now I'm going to wind it up right after I finish podcasting. This is all the yarn I have, so I think it's not enough for a full blanket, so I'm going to start at a corner and increase out and use both of these to finish that triangle, and then see if that triangle is big enough to be a shawl. If not, I'm going to pair a second yarn with it and go the other way, like decrease, so then I have a huge square essentially. But I think I'm missing having a garter project on my needles. That is just mindless. So this is happening, and this is part of our intention to use up all the yarn we have, at least the ones that we've bought at the same trips, or like I said, knit patterns that we want to all knit. So that is just a quick segue into what I want to cast on next, and this is stunning. I think this was my, after the Vermont sheep and wool, this was my thumbnail basically, with this huge yarn next to me. This was like a nondescript, like it doesn't say anything, it just, this is the tag, it just says wool alpaca nylon blend, and it just says what is the price. So this one huge 7-ounce thing was like $30, so I got 2 of those. Yep, so that was everything I had planned to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much if you came and said hi, or let me know that you watch my podcast. It was really nice meeting everyone. I thoroughly enjoyed looking at all the sweaters people were wearing. I saw a lot of ranunculus. I saw a lot of one of those designs, oh no, I'm forgetting the name of the pattern, by Samantha Guerin, Salty Arties. I think I saw a lot of those. People were wearing such beautiful, and like you can see that it was warm, so everyone was like layering or using summer yarns, and it's always very inspiring to see everyone's makes and then figure out what you want to make next. On Friday night we ended up going for dinner again, and then Saturday night we went for dinner again, and then Sunday I just left and then drove back to Pittsburgh. It was supposed to be a 5.5-hour drive, took me almost 7 hours just because it was a long weekend in Canada. The QEW was crazy. It was bumper to bumper traffic till the border, but once I crossed the border to the US, I made it back home without any issues. So yep, so that was, I left with a lot of inspiration, a lot of knitting, sewing, quilting mojo. I have been sewing away quite a bit even now, and this is a long weekend here in the US, so I have some sewing and quilting plans for today and tomorrow, and of course knitting, so I will be doing that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you, if you were at the festival, if you're planning to go to a different festival, what are you working on? I'm always happy to know more about what you're doing, and I love having the conversations we do in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and happy crafting, and I will see you again next time. Bye.